Glad I caught you. Welcome to the Nameless Ones. My name is Aoibhinn Doyle and I'm an angel channel and energy healer. Let's look at May 2023. So May kicks off with a lunar eclipse on the 5th or 6th. And it is wrapping things up. There's a natural conclusion and completion to, it could be an old identity, it could be an old relationship, it's an old part of your life. It could be that you are wrapping up your motherhood era and you're entering your crone era. It could be that you are wrapping up your childhood, stepping into your manhood. This can express itself in a variety of ways, understanding that these, of course, are general themes, but it's up to you to read between the lines and to apply this information to your specific journey. But for many people, there's a sadness with that ending, with that completion. And that's natural, that's normal, that's healthy. When we conclude an aspect of ourselves or our lives or relationship, there's a natural grieving process that ensues. So if you were feeling a lot of intense or heavy emotions around the 5th and 6th, understand that it's your soul working with your personality to embrace these endings. And as we move forward from the lunar eclipse, we are redirecting, okay? So we're redirecting where it is that we're going now. There's a very honest look at what needs to get done, what needs to be achieved, what needs to be attempted and to be started now in this redirection, so that we can start to really build this new identity, this new life, this new aspect of the self. May is very much about, what have I been procrastinating on? What have I been putting off? What are those things, those chores, those duties that my soul is calling me to do now? Because when I take care of my side of the street, when I do my internal work, I am creating footholds, I'm creating foundations for my new soul self to flesh out in my life now. So if there's something that you know you've been dreading or you just haven't been facing it squarely, May has a lot of support. It has a lot of energy to help you get shit done. Okay, it's quite a clear, direct. The guidance I'm getting is just go tend to that. Do those chores, get those things done now. So if you've been dragging your feet and you actually address that now and you go where you need to go, you're going to find June and July much smoother, much calmer, you know, and you'll have the confidence, because it's like, they're just showing me the image of somebody going into their job and they have a big presentation and they just haven't done the work. They haven't prepared, they've nothing organized. They show up on the morning and they're a nervous wreck and they're having a panic attack in the toilet, right? Because they haven't laid the foundation of what needs to happen. And they're saying you can save yourself so much time and energy and stress if you just go and do that thing that you know that I'm talking about. As I'm talking to you about this, there's a part of you that's going, ah, yes, I know what that is. I need to go do that. So not using our spiritual self and our spirituality as an escapism or as a fantasy route out of reality, but actually really getting into the nuts and bolts of our reality and dropping down into the groundedness of life. So I have some cards here I'll be doing as well, so maybe I'll just shuffle these. So your energy is going into these oracle cards as I chat to you and as we share this present moment together. And on that note, thank you for being here with me in this sacred space. If you want to share something, the comment section is a safe space to do that. I have some lovely people who've been with me for many years now, and it's always good vibes. It's always loving, caring, high conscious people who show up here, because remember, there's never a crowd on the leading edge of thought. There's one, falls to the floor, it's knocking at your door. Okay, we'll come to that in a moment. So I'm thinking now, so when you're making peace and you're dropping into a peaceful acceptance of that ending in your life, as it goes into mid-May, then we are looking at themes of forgiveness. So that ending might have you reflecting on, whom do I need to forgive? And in my previous video, I mentioned how oftentimes the toughest person to forgive is actually ourselves. When we feel we've let ourselves down in some way, or maybe we made some decisions that didn't work out the way we'd hoped. It's a little bit crooked there. Or maybe we just need to let ourselves off the hook sometimes and just move on, because holding that lack of forgiveness for the self is actually keeping us stuck in a holding pattern. So May, the energies in May, your guides, your angels are saying, come on, let us pull you forward. Work with this flow that's pulling you into this new aspect of self. And as you know, when we begin to do something new in our lives, it can often feel quite daunting. It can feel like you're a fish out of water, you know, because something that's unfamiliar can really upset the nervous system and upset the brain waves as well, just because we are hardwired for survival. So sometimes we have to just be bigger than that and rise above that and say, okay, this is scary as hell, but I'm doing it anyway, because I know when I show up for this and I complete this experience, or I get the ball rolling with this, it will pay dividends. It'll come back to me like a tree bearing fruit in my future. So there's certainly a focus on those ideas and those themes as we go into like 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th of May, I'm getting. Now, what was the next thing that they were saying to me? Yeah, rebirth. This is the month of rebirth, birthing something new. If you have been holding off on releasing something new, maybe you have an album release, or you're releasing a book, or you're releasing or starting up a new business. There's a big focus on relationships and money in May. So I would say choose the 3rd and 4th week in May if you're going to. I'd actually say, you know, even the 2nd and 3rd week in May is a good time to launch something new or to begin that rebirthing journey. So whatever you're laboring into, whatever project you're pouring yourself into, or perhaps you've completed this project, maybe that was your ending in the lunar eclipse, and now you've got to actually birth it into the world. This is a good time. Anything that's got a sense of a new timeline, new identity. I'm changing how I look. Maybe you're changing how you, because often when we enter a new timeline, we don't feel like we want to dress the same or look the same. That's often when a person will do something radically different to their hair. It's often when people will have a complete change of wardrobe. But that's just the superficial side of it. But that is a symbol of the internal shift that's happening. And remember, all change starts internally first, okay? So this is especially auspicious May is for anything that feels like, okay, I'm ready to expand this. I'm ready to evolve this. I'm ready to... I've put the work in and I'm now ready to say, here world, here you go. I am... It's like, I'm getting this image of picking up a dove, like the peace symbol, you know, the dove with the little leaf in its mouth, and just letting it go free, setting the dove free. And then just detaching and saying, okay, I've showed up, I've done the work, and I release you into the universe. Okay, that's a lovely image. I'm always fascinated what just shows up in these videos. In my mind's eye, in my middle eye, as I energetically tune in for you guys. It's brilliant. So for some people, you're going to have a strong sense of peacefulness. There is a peaceful acceptance as we've moved away from that lunar eclipse on the 5th. And then you're going to anchor that in and embody that into your energy so that you're able to now actually flesh that out in a real-time sense in your life. So just be aware of, you don't want to be too dreamy and too much escapist and too much in a fantasy life as May evolves, because your angels are saying it's important to get the work done. The last week in May, I'm hearing, is going to be a little bit trickier. So the 4th week in May is not going to be as sweet, as flowing. Like that peace symbol, work with these energies. So while the energy is peaceful and grounded and accepting and flowing into new quadrants of yourself, of your soul, that's the time to schedule in things that you want to tend to. That's the time to make those phone calls and send those emails. That's the time to visit a place that you've been saying you're going to visit. Work with the energies, because I do feel there's some harsh, or I feel as we go into June, there's going to be an uprising collectively, on a collective level, of suppressed anger or rage. So it's important that we get the ball rolling with positive momentum, with projects and things that mean a lot to us. So whatever in your life that you really feel, this is the year I promised myself I'm going to do X, Y, Z. When we work with the waves, right? It's like the waves of the ocean. If you push against the tide, you can push all you want. That wave is gonna hit you in the face. It's gonna come right in on top of you. But when we work with the waves and we flow with the energy, then everything is harmonized. Now there is a beautiful harmonious energy in May, but there is some, I feel like, and it's more towards the 4th week of May. That's what I'm getting, where we'll just have to mind our energy, be a little bit, maybe use a little bit more protection, use the violet flame. You know, you set the violet flame of, it's a very purifying, cleansing, protective flame. You can put yourself, your aura, in a violet flame. You can put the violet flame over your front door of your house so that people coming through walk through the violet flame. You can also, you can put it in your workplace. You can put it on a work colleague if you're having trouble. Just going to take a little sip. Because I'm just getting that there's something about the latter half of May. Oh yes, they're saying because our sensitivities are just enhancing. They're being, our sensitive gifts are the highly sensitive people amongst us, which includes you and me, because you wouldn't be here watching this content if you weren't highly sensitive. Our sensitivity is expanding, and it's also evolving. So you might be discovering new abilities, new talents, new psychic gifts. And maybe you're starting to launch some project, some work, some new business. So money, right? There is a focus on relationships and money in May. So romance and significant relationships is a focus. So some of you are divorcing, ending, moving on, leaving that behind. Try to work with the energies around, because the lunar eclipse is really closing doors on those timelines. And then there's a focus on money as well. So tuning in to the energetic flow and working with those energies is really going to benefit you. But for instance, as an example, they're giving me this example for someone, okay? Maybe you're going to start up, you're reading cards, you're a tarot reader, and you launch it and you're nervous and you might get some negative feedback, or someone puts a mean comment in or something like that. It's an opportunity for you to stay in your sensitivity and still honor your sensitivity without buying into that negative comment, or without allowing other people to project their rage or negativity or their trauma onto you. So there is something about the latter half of May, and right, okay. Horus Horology. I highly recommend, if you're really into energy and being prepared with the frequencies ahead, there's a brilliant channel called Horus Horology, and he is a brilliant astrologer. Hello Marty, how are you? And some of you who know in the comments, he is, Marty has been watching my videos, but we've also exchanged. He did my chart, I'm Taurus, and he did my Taurus chart for this year, and it was brilliant. So I wonder, because I'm not an astrologist, if Horus, if you could clarify in the comments or in a video what the energies of May are, because there's something around the 20th, 21st I'm getting that we're going to have to mind our sensitivity. But again, I do feel that the 4th week, because again it's shifting. You'll see this with it's the lunar, it's not the calendar, it's not man-made time. None of that is really that's all like man's perception of time, and time doesn't exist. But when we're working with nature, we're working with systems, we're working with patterns, okay? So the energy by the end of May is moving into June. It's moving into a new lunar cycle as well. And I do feel around the 18th, 19th, there's this gorgeous, there is a sweetness to this month. There's a poetry, there's romance, there's a soulfulness. I do also feel that the spin-off from eclipse season is that we are connecting and meeting our soul tribe. There's a lot of twin flame reunions. There's a lot of destined, fated events still happening or playing out. Understand that the eclipse is not just about a day, a number. It's about, it sets up the next 6 months or more energetically of where your life is pulling you and bringing you forward so that you evolve. And if we didn't get that cosmic kick up the bum in the eclipses, we'd probably just cling and stay comfortable in our comfort zone. So that's another thing that they said this to me earlier. Yeah, to say to you guys, my angels, the nameless ones that I channel, that's what who I'm addressing when I say that. There's something about where are you really comfortable, but you know it's too comfortable and you're not evolving, you're not growing. Where is that? What part of you are you staying stuck in because you're like, oh, but it's so comfortable. I'm so cozy and comfortable here. I don't want to have to dip my toe into the cold water. Well, May is going to require your presence to step outside that comfort zone and to roll up the sleeves and get some hard work done. But there is this gorgeous, tender, sweet, I'm feeling it. It's lovely. It's words fail me. Romantic. There's a juicy energy to May. So it's a great time to get stuff done because you have that sweet softness, that's it. There's a softness to May that's going to help you to get the harder things done, the chores, the duties, the promises you made yourself, okay? Promises kept. Your soul, you've made certain promises to your soul, and your soul wants you to keep those promises, okay? So looking at your restrictions, how have you restricted yourself? And hopefully with eclipse season, you blasted through those restrictions, and here we go. You're up and running. Right, so the one that fell to the floor was Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. This is very perfect for May because our vibrations are rising. Our frequencies are rising. We are stepping into the higher self. And we are voicing the higher self in May and moving forward. Then you got the ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Okay. I'll just pull one more. I'm going to call it there. Inner temple, devotion. Tune into the portal of your heart. These are beautiful cards. These are Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. Just love the colors. They're really, really pretty. Okay, that's it. We'll see what else comes up. If I receive any more information from the angels, I will of course step on here. I've got a really busy month ahead. I like the busyness, especially when the energy is this juicy and full and abundant. Yeah, that's the word. There's an abundance to this energy, you know. And there is that lovely peacefulness after the emotions of eclipse season. So enjoy that. Look, while it's peaceful, while the dove is gently sitting in your hand, ready to fly off into the world, just enjoy that. But also know that we can't stay and stick in what's comfortable and what feels cozy all the time, because we won't grow and we won't get anything done, and we won't actually get to flesh out the dreams and the desires and our goals that we're here to achieve. So if you've been putting off something, May is your month to go do it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this video, you can show your love and light and appreciation by giving me a thumbs up. Bye bye.